Yo, what's good, people? Welcome to the first episode of Raven 101. So Raven 101 is a series that I did in Tekken 7 as well. So what it is kind of breaking down every element of Raven's gameplay. It even could be stuff like, how do I get people to respect you, which is actually the topic of this video. How to get people to respect you, how to build respect, because Raven is a conditioning character. So the topics can vary in difficulty or in how advanced it is. So we'll be covering beginner topics, we'll be covering intermediate topics, and very advanced topics. So it's kind of just a video series and a hub for you to come to kind of understand Raven a little bit more. So, you know, there'll be combo guides, there'll be not typical combo guides, there'll be very in-depth. That's what Raven 101 series is a very in-depth deep dive into Raven's gameplay, Raven's just how he plays as a character, game plan. And if you take a look on my community tab, I've set up kind of a page where you can suggest ideas. So if I haven't covered an idea already, you can actually go there and suggest ideas. And, you know, if I feel like it's worth covering, I might just record a video like this. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Liking will help with the algorithm, commenting will help with the algorithm, and then subscribing will just let me know that you enjoy the content. Let's get into it. Okay, so this one is how to build respect as Raven, how to get people to respect you. I feel like, first of all, there's kind of two elements. There's back turn, getting people to respect you in back turn, and there's also neutral. Yes, he has soul zone, but soul zone I feel like is used mainly in combos and for mixes after like heat smash on block. It's going to be plus 14 into stance. This is a pure guess. This is, you don't really build respect to enforce soul zone. Soul zone's more, I guess you can with this, but that comes with building respect in back turn or building respect in neutral. So that's where the soul zone respect would come from. So let's talk about how to build respect in neutral. I always see people say, oh, you know, how do I get people to stop mashing? How do I get people? It's generally mashing. So it's like Raven is not really a frame trap character. He's more like mental frames. So even though they did buff his frames in this game, so he does have legit frame traps now. I think in neutral, one thing I will say is a really high level player in EU. His name is Sefi Black. He gave me really good advice. He said, you don't always have to take your plus frames. Sometimes you can do a down back 4 and sidestep, or let me take block off because that was actually minus. So like sometimes you can do down back 4 and backdash. Sometimes you can do something plus and sidestep, or just do nothing, because sometimes when you don't do stuff that the opponent is expecting, they freeze up and they don't know what to do. So my advice is, sometimes if you're plus on hit, or like for example down forward 1 is plus 8 on hit, so you could easily throw another down forward 1 in there to frame trap, but sometimes just sidestep or sometimes just backdash and do nothing, because that's going to throw off the opponent. And Raven is a lot about mental frames and mental stack. Again, even though he has legit frame traps, he is a mental stack conditioning mental frames character. So, you know, if you punish them with a 2-4, you don't always have to go in for that mix. You can just sidestep, or you can just backdash, or just, you know, stay in that range. It also depends on the range of the character you're fighting as well. So right now we're in like range 2.5. Now I'm going to back away to range 3. Raven can play in all ranges because he has the crouch dash. He can cover distance pretty quickly. See what I mean? So I'm at range 4 now. I covered the range with a low. So he can cover pretty much any distance. So you have to keep that in mind as well. Raven is very good at space control. That's my first piece of advice. You don't always have to take your plus frames. Now, secondly, if the opponent is not respecting you, doing nothing, if they're mashing, if you notice them mashing or pressing, like, okay, if I do a down forward 1 on hit and they're pressing now, that means it's time for me to frame trap them. Frame trap them with a 3-3. Frame trap them with a down back 2. Frame trap them with a throw. He has so many options to frame trap. So this is plus 5 on hit now. So I would suggest going into the lab, looking at your replays and looking at what mid pokes you usually use, or looking at lows, because actually most of Raven's lows are not actually plus. His usable ones anyway. So like full crouch 3, down 4, you know, back turn down 4 was one of his lows that you would have used. But so some of his lows are not plus. So this one is plus, but it's slow. So better players will start reacting, or, you know, launching you if they can launch you for it. This one is excellent. So this is plus 2. He's in a weird position here because if they jab now, the only thing I can do is back turn jab back before their jab. his fastest mid is back turn forward 3. So I'm going to set the opponent to jab and see what options I can do. Now, this is the worst case scenario. So he's doing the quickest attack, which is 10 frames. Sometimes they might do a 12 frame move. Sometimes they might do a 14 frame move. It just depends on what your opponent's doing. But let's try and beat a jab from this situation. And this is a low I would really recommend to use because it's -9 on block and it has a counter hit animation. Now this low is really good. So I'm going to beat him here. Now, let's say I do a mid. The fastest mid from back turn is going to get beat. So in this regard, you would have to do, even if it's a back turn 1, you have to use jabs here. You have to use quicker attacks. Essentially, if you're getting beat out of this, you use quicker attacks because, you know, those slow attacks are not going to hit Raven. So that's the first kind of piece of advice I would give. Well, the second now, actually. You know, if you're finding that you're getting beat out of stuff you're plus on, use quicker moves after you've punished them or after you've hit them. So like after a down forward 1, it's going to jab. Now, there's no point me going for, I don't know, a down back 3. I'm going to get hit, it's slow. I need to do something quick. Another down forward 1, check him. A low, down 3, will frame trap. Down 4 will high crush. So there's just certain options that you can beat jabs with. It just depends on what your opponent's doing. So really look at what your opponents are doing at your rank, because I feel like at different ranks people will respond to Raven differently, and that's the thing. You can't play too advanced for the level you're at, if that makes sense. Even though you might have loads of setups and loads of, you know, play simpler and see what is and isn't working. I think that's one thing that I will do. So that's kind of neutral. I think the premise is, you know, if you're getting beat out when you're plus, do quicker moves. That's kind of it. Frame chat with throws as well. That's really good because counter hit throws. So one thing I will say is, you know, if you're finding it hard to open people up, throws and lows are a good one, especially this low, and the sweep. Sweep is really good as well. So yeah, Raven has really good lows, but yeah, I would say, you know, if you're getting beat out in neutral, do something quicker. Use throws to frame trap. Now we're gonna get onto back turn and how to kind of gain that respect in back turn, if you will. So let's get started. So the easiest way to get into back turn is down back 2. So down back 2 is +5 on hit. So pretty much anything you do here is going to be a jab. Back turn G clef, back turn forward 3. So, you know, anything you do here is pretty much gonna beat the opponent for mashing, even back turn 1+2. So I think now if it's on block, because on hit's not the problem, it's probably on block that you guys are wondering about. So this on hit is pretty +6. Yeah, there's nothing they can really do. This is on hit, so we're gonna look at on block now. So the one thing I will say is I'm gonna turn off punish. Know how to get out of back turn, that's number 1. Know how to escape back turn. If I do down back 2 on block, I'm gonna set them to block. Okay, if I do down back 2 on block, it's -4 on block. Now, this manual cancel takes 5 frames. So, -4 -5 is -9. So I'm going to be -9 in this situation. Now, I'm going to demonstrate that by setting up a jab punish. So I'm just going to enable the punishment settings again. See, I'm actually safe from jabs here. There's nothing they can really do. If they mid-check me, I'm going to be safe. If they grab me, I can still break it. So, you know, this is a good option. And this goes for any of his back turn moves that leave him in back turn. Usually you will be safe. Now this only gets tricky when it's something like this, which is already -9, because now this is going to be -14. So this doesn't work. But any kind of mid from back turn that leaves him in back turn generally is going to be safe. So down back 2, this as well, back 2-2, even though it's a high mid. Oh, he's mashing, but yeah. This is another one, which is good, because this is guaranteed on counter hit. So if the second hit counter hits, so you can see he's pressing in between it because of that red spark. So if this counter hits, you can get back turn 1-4, and I'm gonna turn on the combo. So I've just turned on the HUD so you can see it. Look at the damage. That's for him mashing after back 2. See what I mean? So there's a lot of things you can do to gain respect in back turn. Another one is parrying. So the parry I'm doing is gonna turn on the command history. Is back turn forward 1+2. So if you find yourself or your opponent mashing after moves like that, you can actually parry them for it. And there's some nice Oki as well. So if they side roll like that, you can do down back 4. It's going to hit them here. If they back roll, you can do a deep forward 4, which is pretty good as well for Oki. So there's just a lot of things you can do with Raven, honestly. It's just the respect comes from you recognizing what the opponent's doing and adapting to it. And I know that sounds very tricky and difficult, but Raven is a difficult character. Can't really get around it. But once you understand how the conditioning works, he really is, I feel like the game rewards you. The system mechanics, the way Raven is in this game, really rewards you for making good decisions and making good reads and stuff. So I'm going to jump into a quick match and just try to explain why I'm making certain decisions and how I'm getting people to respect me. So let's jump into it. Let's go for more lows because he's not blocking it low anymore.
It's not over yet.
Oh my god, he's dead. I got lucky. Plus frame. Plus frame. Nope. Oh, you can parry it. Damn. See, I used a quick move after that. Press. See, I earned the conditioning. You see, I called out the press. You just have to look at what your opponent's doing. Nope. Okay, he's playing patient now. Playing patient, I'm just gonna sweep him. Nice. So this is how to condition people. I think that was a good showing of conditioning and making good reads and good sidestep decisions. Sometimes I didn't always take my plus frames. I sometimes sidestepped or sometimes backdashed, did a low, and I recognized that he wasn't blocking low, so I was doing more lows. So if you find that, you know, your opponent is doing loads of high blocking mids, blocking highs, it's time to attack the feet. It's time to attack those legs. That sounded a bit mad, but yeah. It's time to just go low because there's a lot of ways to open up players. It's just if you recognize that what you're doing is not working, it's time to do something different. So hopefully you enjoyed that first episode of Raven 101 in Tekken 8. This was about conditioning, how to earn respect, because as you saw there, I could do as many back turn back twos in a row as I wanted. That move is not plus. They could have pressed, you know, but because they were scared of what I was doing, I forced them to be scared, and then at the right moment I struck with back turn power crush or a retaliation, and it worked. So that further kind of introduced my respect, and yeah, I could kind of just control the match as I wanted to with movement, sidestepping, backdashing, attacking at the right moment. So it's definitely doable. It's just, it takes time with the character, and Raven is a complex character, so you will get there if you keep practicing, if you keep watching different Raven players and stuff, getting new ideas. But hopefully you enjoyed.